rolling. We're back. It's good to see the gang. What's up? What's up, people? How y'all
Good
feeling?
to be back.
Oh man, feeling good.
You had a long week, bro.
Long,
8-9 days straight, huh?
Yes, long week.
Jazz Fest.
Jazz Fest, Harbor Fest, Rob 49, graduations. You know, I do it all.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And Bear is the only man in the world who has 8-day weeks.
That's right. And I'm
The only person
one of the
with 8-day
reasons
weeks.
why I'm wealthy. And I keep telling people,
The richest man in the world.
Right.
We send this Cash App
you know,
request.
you know what? Funny story. The reason why I say that all the time, number one is affirmations. I heavily
talk
believe in
into
affirmations,
existence.
talking
Of
into
course.
existence.
Yeah.
Right. Number two is that for years, everybody said, "Oh, you're just a security guard. Oh, you security guard this, a security guard that."
Right.
So I don't have no problem screaming the success I've had financially from being just quote unquote a security guard.
right.
So I throw it in the people's face. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I make,
Boss, like
yeah.
you
Man,
people
yeah.
under you hire people, you give
We
people
know you.
opportunities. That's
We
a
know
boss
what
is.
kind of bags you bringing in.
Absolutely.
When I say bags, you got to put plural on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had background checks done on each one of you before I even came around
To make sure we can sit in your presence.
Just make sure you guys were worthy and able to be around me. So, you know, I'm happy to see you all pass.
Yeah.
Brandon passed with flying colors.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Brandon got some hidden
Yeah.
accounts, some switch accounts.
Yeah. Well,
That's funny.
Well, let's kick this thing off. The sun has risen. We are about to kick this thing off. I like that. See, I was thinking about it. See, like that shit. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we send these to each other all the time. I see.
We're gonna get these introductions going. Of course, we got Mr. Lotto Pockets over there. Y'all heard most of it already.
Absolutely.
Bear Brown, how you doing, man?
Credit score is crazy right now.
Credit score
Credit
crazy.
score is crazy right now.
Are you keeping
better
keeping
than
up
money, I
with the
heard.
health since you had this crazy week with the Jazz
Oh,
Festival?
yeah. Now,
You been in the gym and all that?
well,
Eating
actually,
fruit and
nah,
shit?
my cardio game crazy right now because, you know, all the walking with the festivals and everything. So I've been
No.
enjoying-
Time to out. You ain't about to do that right now because I seen you at the Jazz Fest. I seen you at the Jazz Fest.
Oh,
when did I see you?
You gonna sample
How
the
did I
food,
see
man.
you?
You gonna sample the food, man. You know what I'm saying? About 40 food
No,
trucks.
I ain't talking about the
They
food.
don't sell samples.
Yeah, I know all the steps he taking. I'm walking down the street at the Jazz Fest. Bear comes rolling by me in a golf cart.
Hey, man, listen.
And he ain't even driving it. He riding in the golf cart.
Right in the back.
Hey,
He like, ah, he big time me too. He's ah.
I didn't, you know what? The driver, my right hand behind me, she the one that said,
Oh,
Not the
steps he
driver,
got-
man. Come on.
she said that was Mo. You said, you know that was Mo, right? I said, who?
Get his Apple Watch step thing that you can track and see what he's doing.
man,
This motherfucker talking about all the steps he got in. Seen his
Man,
ass in the
listen,
golf cart.
Hey, listen, hey, easy way to travel, man.
Yeah.
Easy way to travel.
All right,
It's
let's
a
go.
must. That's
We
on
got-
my rider.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
on my rider for the
we
festivals.
we got B Gibson in the building.
Shout
of
out to
course,
B, my boy
Of course.
B.
B got some.
Thank y'all, thank
yeah,
y'all.
we were talking before. We was talking
Thank y'all,
before
yeah.
we started, and B got some serious shit to say today. It's
Yeah,
like,
so, you know, man, it's always serious.
of
It's
course, I
always
like what you
serious.
did with yourself today, man. I like
Yeah.
the color coordination. You know what I'm saying?
I like what I did with myself today too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man, brother.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure. You already know.
Thank you.
And then we got Rocky B in the building. Yeah. Yo, you learned some shit about Rocky B. Rocky B turning into Mary J.
I'm
Where her
Rocky
request,
B.
where her
I'm gonna
request
let
when
him-
she's doing shows and all that.
Oh,
Yep.
listen, I'm about to start putting a writer in.
There you go.
Definitely put a writer. I want airheads. I only want the blue colors. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to put a writer in. A bottle of Don.
See?
Okay, for
See?
me. I'm about to start putting a writer in.
Doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
She wanted that room
I need
temperature.
a masseuse.
She got a phone carrier. Bring me my phone. Bring me my phone, please.
No, I don't.
No, I mean a
can't see it on
carrier.
camera.
Like her phone is on somebody else.
Yeah, off
Let me
camera,
use my
she got
phone,
a phone
please.
carry. She has a phone
No,
protector.
I feel like
Right.
when you have people around you that want to see you succeed, right? They're gonna make sure everything is good. Like my best friend Jessica Bain. Like when I'm hosting, she knows
Shout out to
like
Jess.
this is her time. So like if I need you to, once people want to take pictures, she's like, I'll take your purse. Like, and you need people around you that wants to see that, because a lot of people try to compete with you. I don't want no friends around me that want my life.
Right.
I don't want you to want my life.
Right.
I want you to have your own shit going on so you can support me. I want you to be happy for me or want it just as bad for me. Like in your
I ain't mad at that.
team.
I ain't mad at that.
You want a real
I ain't mad
I
at
want a
that.
team. Every team, people play their position.
It's
That's
hard
what makes
to
a team
find-
successful,
it's hard
right?
to find a
So
team.
like, I can't do what she does. She can't do what I do. You know, everyone has to play the position for the team to be successful. So if everybody want to be the quarterback, The fuck, who gonna catch the ball?
Shout out to Collective Society, Jess Bain. That's my dog.
Yeah, like you gotta be good at what you do. Like once you find what you're good at and you create your team,
Right.
everybody gonna win because I'm bringing her with me. I'm bringing my team with me wherever I go. You know,
Right.
so everybody
right.
you can't be friends with somebody that wants your life, and that's why bitches be on Facebook calling out their friends and all this stuff. after
That'd be
friendship
crazy.
is over.
Best friends for 30 years and then they
now
expose
you-
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we know that she got mice. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to know that, right? But
First two
because-
babies. and the other-
But because
they
that
old
person
boy
was
in
jealous
there.
of you because they wanted
Yeah.
your life, so now now is their time to put you out there. So
Yeah.
everybody got to
That's
be.
bad.
I don't play that friend word too loosely.
Yeah.
I don't at all.
Yeah.
Y'all my associates.
I mean,
Okay. I can live with that. I made
pretty
the
much
cut.
stayed
I
in
made
my-
the cut.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
So we, yo, Brandon, we made 2 cuts. We made his cut,
Woo!
and we made her cut. So we
Keep that in mind. Barely.
Y'all doing real
Barely.
good. Barely.
I made it barely. He just said he made it with flying colors.
That's
So.
my man. It's
Yeah,
my man.
Lee.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
that's why
right
y'all
hand.
keep y'all dark skin asses over there.
My boy Mo Jackson.
You know what I'm saying?
What's up,
It's Mo.
Mo?
It's Mo. everybody.
The living legend.
I think
Mo
Aaron knows
Jackson.
me.
Hollywood.
But-
Hollywood Mo.
Nah, we ain't gonna do
902 Mo.
We're not gonna do that. No. I'm like
90210 Mo.
I'm like
Yeah.
the
Beverly
simplest,
Hills himself.
calmest, most down to earth
Riches.
guy sitting here. No, not the richest.
Yeah, the
wish-
guy with the erotic side.
Yeah. Word.
We got a
Somewhere
lot.
doing this pod, it's gonna come out.
Yep.
They gonna be. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about, though. A lot of good stuff to talk
Man,
about.
it's a busy week.
It's
Last few
busy.
days.
It's
Yeah.
very busy. I had a lot of time to sit and talk to myself and think about this first topic. So I'm gonna jump out. What camera can I look at? Because I want to look at the camera because this shit is crazy. Like I done told myself I'm gonna cuss and everything
Okay.
about this.
The fuck is wrong with you? Well, go ahead though.
How in the fuck are we giving Jim Jones this fucking these wings for this stuff?
Man, I
Really saying,
got my own
how are
personal
we
take, but I'm
doing
gonna let
this?
everybody else
Like,
speak first.
Okay. I understand throwing shit to the wall, hoping it stick and see what stick and keeping yourself relevant. But he is literally doing stupid shit. And I'm not even mad at him because, he's in that life. He's probably been living that life and trying to keep up with, his way of life and his lifestyle with making the money that he needs to make to keep up. But it's like we, the people, are allowing this shit.
What
And
are we
then he
allowing?
go
Can
and
you
say
give us background?
stupid shit. So Jim Jones came out and said that he is he basically mentioning himself in the same sentence as Nas. He's coming out there saying that he is more inspirational to hip hop than Nas has been. And I'm like, okay, I try to put this into context, using myself as an example. I'm a former wide receiver, right? And Jim Jones is in the music industry. He's a rapper. He dropped a couple bombs, right? Ballin', what's the other one?
Summer in Miami, yeah.
Might be, right? I did some crazy shit in the world of sports too. Like I ran a 4.140. That is like 9 people that has ever done that, right? So okay, but I'm not gonna go out there and say I'm as good as Jerry Rice or Randy Moss. It's just stupid shit. But we, the people, we're fanning the fire. We're letting this dude stay relevant, and now he's on every talk show, and everybody is giving this dude a platform to talk about this shit. But Nas ain't saying nothing. And I respect that part because that's how it's supposed to go. But this dude is like, okay, I'm gonna use this as an example. We got in here and I picked this pillow up, right? This pillow got all classics on it, right? Look at this shit. It got everything from Rakim all the way down to Mos Def. It got Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, Dr. Dre. All the classic albums are on this pillow.
Right.
Look at this pillow and tell me how far Jim Jones is away from making this pillow. Seriously, how far away is he from making this pillow?
But what was his reasoning for thinking that he's more influential
I
than
guess that
Nas?
one,
What is
though.
his
Yeah.
reasoning?
Where it really came from, it was that this younger kid, like, man, it's a podcast they got, I forgot the name of it. And like, it's older dudes and it's this younger kid. And the younger kid, like, was basically saying, like, for our generation, like, we gonna jack Jim Jones over Nas, like, because like Jim Jones done came out with stuff, style, like they give him credit for certain things in fashion, his music. And he's like, look, I'm 22. So when I was 10, 11, 12 coming up on music, I was coming up on Jim Jones more than Nas.
Yes.
And obviously when the older guys on the pod clowned him for it, whatever. What happened was Jim was on the pod and somebody showed him that clip and Jim like, hell yeah.
No.
Like, yo, like, man, hell yeah. Like, Nas cool. I was a Nas fan and all that. But like, recency is me over Nas. And my thing with Jim is just, he keep coming out saying like, yo, I'm fooling y'all, but I'm playing in the internet game, but that's not sustainable. Because you're going to have somebody, when he says, oh, I'm better than Nas. Obviously, somebody going to say, damn, I never heard Jim Jones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go listen to Jim Jones. Mm-hmm. So now, man, when I go listen to Jim Jones and see that you're not better than Nas, I'm never going to come back to listen to Jim Jones again.
Right.
So it's like, it's a quick influx of boom, and then it's nothing. And you ultimately, man, cheapen your brand by doing that.
But why would you play yourself? Why would you embarrass yourself like that?
I just answered it for
people, I get it. Yeah.
He answered it already.
But
Man. He said, yo, my streams is higher than ever, this and that, third. He's basically saying the
Maybe I'm
new
just too
internet
I can't.
way
It's
is
generational.
this how you do it. Like, this how you do it.
Yeah.
You create controversy, and y'all gonna come check my music out, and my streams is up, and my bookings is up, and y'all don't see I'm playing y'all. Y'all fell for the bait. And then he spelled bait wrong, but that's another story.
In that whole thing, you got to think, okay, do I do this and try to help myself out for this little boom that I'm gonna have, or do I respect the hip hop and not degrade or downplay what Nas has done in this game?
Let me answer that and tie it into my reply too. Here's the thing about it, and I'm breaking down story wise. I remember I was going to my dad was taking me to school. We was in our Caprice Classic. Like, it was crazy. I'll never forget this day as long as I live. There's a stat recently to say what song made you fall in love with hip hop. I know exactly the time, place I was at when it happened. We was in the car. He was taking me to school. I don't know what grade. It was like, I don't know if it's kindergarten, first grade, whatever. And Sucker MCs by Run DMC came on.
Right.
When I heard that, I said, what the hell is that?
Right.
You know, because I'm like my dad. My dad was a Prince fan, Michael Jackson, Rick James, all that stuff. It was just early in the morning, and this crazy break beat came on, and you just heard 2 years ago, a friend of mine, blah blah blah, and I was like, yo, and I wanted to hear more. So my brother's best friend, shout out to my man Carl, my god brother, he had a bunch of cassettes. He had a bunch of cassettes and the 45s and the singles, and he would just play in his parents' stereo room. And when we would listen, he would just play all kinds, whatever rap music he could get. So to me, the evolution of, just to tie it all together, which explain what I'm saying is, to me at that point, every album that came out then in that classic golden era was better than what I heard before. They elevated each other, from Eric B and Rakim to Paid in Full to Big Daddy Kane to Kool G Rap to KRS One, Public Enemy, all of them, right? To me, those were that was the benchmark. You had to be as good as them or better. Then the 90s, the grimy 90s came in, and then, you know, stuff like then 2000s about the money.
Right.
So you got Nas came in at the early part of the grimy area and in the later part of the big money area.
Right.
Right. Jim Jones wasn't around, even though he's not that much younger than Nas. I think he's like 3-4 years younger than Nas.
Right.
He wasn't around, but Nas was a part of the hip hop movement. So when Jim became hot and popping, finally, you know, and you got to think about the ages of the cats we talking to.
Was he ever really hot and popping?
Well, listen, there was a summer before. There was a summer where Jim was everywhere. When Garden came out, you had radio hosts, TV hosts, everybody. Like Jim he had some of the hottest music around, and we followed him. See, the problem, and I think the biggest problem with the situation becomes, it's a generational thing, but it's hard to say generational because Jim is from that culture, but he's the embodiment of an eternal YN.
Yeah.
Jim is so the YNs look at him, pocket full of money, the fly sweatsuit, the fly kicks, the crazy fashion, whatever. Like, he dresses like them. He's of that culture.
But you 50.
You know? But here's the thing. That's the thing about music, though. Jim realizes that it's a wheel. He's lucky enough to become hot every now and then, right? So when the young dude was explaining about the Nas, he kept it real. He said, "Yo, I don't know the Nas situation." He said, with the interview he talking about, Brandon was talking about, he said, "I'm not familiar with the Nas situation. I'm hearing Jim Jones, even with that song Harlem.
Yeah.
They showed him performing it to a bunch of kids. They was going crazy. They was
Yeah.
So his music is for them. So Nas is more. Like I said, I look at Nas as part of a written part of the culture, more so being relevant. Everybody said Nas is relevant. Nas doesn't care about being relevant. This man album is in the Library of Congress.
Yeah,
like he performed the first album with a symphony in Washington.
Yeah.
You know, he about to open a casino.
But if you,
you know, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the part, like we giving the energy as the public, we giving the energy because that's what we do. You know, that's what we do. We make things like what Jim say is sustainable. I don't think, and here's the thing, I'm a Jim Jones fan. Now, nowhere near comparable to not like when he said he got checked the billboards, I got more hits. He played himself because that's provable.
Right.
He played. See, the fact is, if you like, Jay-Z said it best one time, who you like may be the best you ever heard to you or be the best. That's debatable. But as far as impact, hits, and sales, that's not debatable.
Right.
There's nothing we can say about that.
Right.
So there's not even an argument. So for us to even argue about who likes, like my dad might like Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash.
Right.
I look at him like he crazy. Like I even said it back then. Like these dudes are horrible. They dress like half of them dress like women. You know, and these are rappers. Comparing them to Run DMC and all that. So I get it. It's a generational thing and an age thing, but also the way social media is now and the sculpted Jim. Whether we agree or not, he's masterfully playing the game to keep himself relevant because he doesn't have sustainable music to be of like Nas could tour off his first album forever.
Right.
Jim can't do that.
Right.
You know, I've with the shows I've done, you bring Jim Jones, you lucky if you get half the crowd. Like so, he has to whatever he needs to do to push the needle. He's obviously willing to do. You know, Nas doesn't have to do that. If Nas even responds to this, I'd be disappointed. Right. I'd be extremely disappointed.
I just don't respect that. I don't respect you playing the game when you supposed to be representing the culture. You supposed to be pushing hip hop forward, but you're gonna go and really disrespecting somebody that is a god in the game. Like you disrespecting Nas. Now, when you disrespect Nas, you also disrespect Big and Jay, right? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, right? That's the top three. That's what they say, right? So when you disrespect him, you got to say, okay, I'm putting myself in the same sentence as him. So I also belong in the same sentence as Jay. I also belong in the same sentence as Nas. No.
I think Jim knows that. I think Jim knows he's nowhere near Nasir Jones and all that stuff.
But don't disrespect the game like that. That's like, but it's just nonsense. Like, just don't disrespect the game, bro. Go be a YN. Go do your pull-ups, man. Go do your pull-ups and all that, and wake up and put your 30 chains on around your neck and go about your business.
This dude, like when he was at the Versus with the locks.
Yeah, but hold on. Who wakes up and really clasps 30 chains around their neck every day?
Hey man, come on. Listen, we got. First of all, we all know people like that. Let's not act like Jim. We all know people that live in good old Rochester, just like that. I see cats at Walmart walking in Walmart, got 4 chains on, get moving crates.
I seen that dude the other day doing landscaping man with 2 chains on. Yeah. So we gonna get your chain and call the weed whacker.
Let's not act like Jim is the only one that's doing that.
We gave Jim Jones way too much time on his podcast. My bad.
He stole from somebody in Rochester.
Yeah, but that's why I said
he stole from somebody in Rochester.
My man K-Love.
Oh yeah, shout out to K-Love.
Yeah.
He
definitely stole that from K-Love.
So let's backstory. My man, shout out to K-Love. K-Love is a authenticate, or what would you call it? Like a purist of when it comes to old school clothes, 90s,
It's more of a like I would say, man, like K-Love is more of a guy who has a real love for fashion, and he sells clothes, and he got a love for like the vintage stuff.
Vintage stuff.
So like before, man, Ava Rexes and all that came back. He was buying old vintage Avirexes
And rocking them.
for $5, like man, dirt cheap.
Wait,
Yeah.
Boy,
this
Kenny.
is the
Kenny,
free code?
Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah, though, man. So you know,
He got multiple
Mr.
names.
Free Code.
Yeah,
That's
Mr.
what
Free Code, yeah. Yep.
So-
man. So you know, so
Background, he got multiple names. Shout out to my man K.
So
like Jim
I
the
know him
Jeweler
as
or
Kenny.
something. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
Kenny.
man.
But
So
yeah.
Jim,
So what happened with the
Jim was
the
able
jacket?
to get through various happenings and doings. Jim was able to get his hands on one of the original Avirexes.
Was it Avis or Pelly?
no,
Was it Pelly or Avirexes?
it was a Pelly.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, he had sent it away to get
He had
fixed or
sent
something.
him in the Pelly.
Yeah.
For something, man, because I think he got like a connect. I'm sure, man, he'll end up
Oh,
cleaning
yeah.
it up. And basically, Jim Jones seen it in their warehouse or whatever, or their office, and just made videos in it and all that. And he like, yo, that's my code.
Yeah, and never
You know what I'm saying?
never shot him out, never showed no love, nothing like just
Never paid for
never
it.
paid
Right.
for it too. Yeah.
Right.
You know
So,
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so
So,
that's,
yeah.
that's wild stuff.
Oh.
But that's yeah. So
Always comes back to
I'm-
Rochester.
I'm even mad that we gave. Let me hold on. That was
Sorry, yeah, be my phone
Oh.
retriever.
There you go.
My
Rob.
honorary
There you go.
phone.
Rob.
Fired.
There you go. Right. But we
Four
you know,
blanks,
I'm
four
mad.
blanks.
I'm mad that I even had to give Jim Jones this much time
That's
on
exactly
this
what
pod.
he wanted.
Like,
Because
why
that's
are we
what
spending
you
this
just
much time
proved.
on
Because
this
that's
show?
what
But that situation is indicative of the culture we now live
Exactly.
in too. So it's just one of
Exactly.
millions of examples of how
something
situations
more
like that
important. And now this is something that I haven't. I got to confess, I have never pulled up my phone and played and went to Apple Music or whatever and played a women's hip hop record. I've never done it except for Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Cardi B. I like Cardi. I fuck with Cardi. I'm excited.
So
Cardi got a
so
song
excited.
coming out. I mean, she got an album coming out
Finally.
in September.
that's gonna be
Finally,
great.
Finally.
she got an album coming out. But
Oh.
this song,
I can't wait.
this outside song. That's what it's called, right? Outside.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's
song?
called outside.
I
Yo.
haven't listened to it yet.
You haven't listened to it yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's vicious.
I haven't. I know that if people keep referencing to this one verse.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
Where she
vicious.
was like, your
I'm-
favorite.
So what happened? I'm lost.
Athlete
It's
is in my
16 bars
DMs.
of Rocky stats.
Yeah.
What?
There you
That's
go.
why I love
Say
it.
it again.
16, 16 bars of Rocky
And this
stats.
goes back, you know what?
Yo, she getting that offset
Love
and basically
it.
saying
Love
like,
it.
tell your mom next time you see your mom, tell her how she raised
He's a
a
bitch. Yeah.
Word?
and saying it's crazy saying stuff like
Thank you.
like you do this to me, I do this to you. Let's see who
Hold
can
on,
handle
let
it
me
better and all that.
Google
It's,
the lyrics.
the song is touching.
Really?
But it's crazy
Yes.
because
It's vicious.
it all boils down, like in our city right now, we had a situation where a scorned lady has been posted this gentleman's photo all over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He just dissing him.
yeah.
Like, yo,
That's where she got inspiration from.
That's-
the song.
kids, man, that he don't take care of, and he's sleeping in a twin bed at his dad's house, and all this, that, and the third. And it's always what I call an empty victory. Make sure you add at the end of the day, and you still fucked with him.
And you still fuck with me.
You say, oh, he needs a dummy to use her car and put everything in her name because he can't. What you really need to say is, AKA, he needs another me.
Right.
You have an empty victory. Just like with Cardi, at the end of the day, after you name, okay, cool, my mom raised a bitch. So that makes you a lesbian.
No.
I'm a bitch.
No, because
If I'm a bitch, that makes you a
men,
lesbian.
no,
I
men
don't
don't,
think Cardi
reveal
cares
It's
about
the
that.
same thing.
lesbian.
It's the same thing.
No, there's always people
The same
always come
thing.
with a facade, right? What's that saying? I get a new man all the time because that man in the beginning is amazing. So everybody, y'all men come with a facade almost all the time.
Wait,
right?
go
I
keep- yeah.
dated the guy that I thought it was his car. Find out it was Reynolds the whole time he was coming. Like you put on this front, right? You put on this front because you want a certain woman, so you're not gonna come as your true self all the time. And then when you get comfortable and we start peeping, like, oh, this is who you are. Like this was all a facade. Now we're gonna call you out on it.
So now,
Now
so,
we're
wait,
talking
wait a
about
minute.
it.
So wait a minute. No,
Yeah, so-
Now we're
bro,
talking about it.
hold on. So
What?
7 years of marriage and 3 kids later was a facade. Come on, we gotta stop this.
She tried to-
We have to stop
Yeah, but you have
Confusing
when
a
you
facade
love somebody
with poor judgment.
Yeah, when you love someone, you safeguard all that bullshit, right? Until they violate you, because you're learning as you go. But you love that person, and you don't want to jeopardize the relationship. You don't want to sabotage what they got going on, especially someone like Offset, right? And then it makes you look bad as a person to put it out there. So you think about all of that. But once you get violated, then you're like, man, fuck this. I'm
And
about
that's
to air you
fine.
out.
Hold on,
Because
hold on.
I tried to safeguard this, and you playing in my face. He probably played in her fucking face, and she was like, I am done. I'm about to expose you, right? Because I kept all your fucking secrets, and you try to disrespect me and play in my face, and now I'm about to post your flyer like a wanted puppy.
I think
And that's what we about to do.
And
You
at the end,
violated.
and at the end of the day, at the end of all those sentences, you still dealt with them. As I just said a few minutes ago, we have to stop confusing a facade with poor judgment. But it's easier to say he fooled me than damn, I'm not really good
But
at
she's
picking
young.
shit.
She's probably
I'm not talking
young.
about just-
But she's probably young and still trying to grow and trying to figure out what she likes. Like, she's young.
Fred ain't nowhere near
Me
young.
and-
It's clear that he's nowhere near young.
He's young.
Dude, that's on
He
that
looks like a YN to me.
man, no.
Nah,
That man ain't got-
No, nowhere
that
near.
man beard don't even look like it's
Nowhere
fully
near.
in yet.
nah,
Nowhere
yeah.
near.
But at
Nowhere
what
near.
point? At what point? Like we had the conversation before. At what point does hurt come in?
Because
Because hurt is always in.
What's
It's contradiction.
what I'm saying? Yeah. So what I'm saying
Hurt
is
is
that
always in.
I refuse to believe that everything that she may have found out
Mm-hmm.
or that she knew that all of a sudden I'm about to expose to the world.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stimulus somewhere that caused that.
Yeah,
Like,
he
did he move
violated.
on and find another dummy? Or is it can't be because he wasn't just not taking care of
But
his
she
kids
was
because
willing-
he was probably never taking care
None
of
of those
his kids.
kids
She was
about
willing.
her.
She was willing to ride out with it until
No, I'm just making a point. You
until
can
the
tell by
violation
fire.
happened. She was willing to ride out with it. So if he never
Exactly.
did what he did, if he never
That's-
stimulated,
violated.
Exactly.
then-
And that's
That's
what
why I
I
said
tied
he
back with,
violated.
that's and it tied back to what B was saying, because at what point was enough for you to not only
Because he made her
so-called-
mad.
yes, there you go,
Right.
so-called not deal with him, but now I got to let the world know what type of person he is, and because technically, real talk, we don't care. That was your situation. It's entertaining. Everybody slows down and watches the car crash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everybody claps at the circus and all that stuff. But my point is, at what point do you think is it worth all that? Because now, I'm saying, whatever we may have had, if it ever becomes exposed like that,
Right.
it'll
It'll be
never
nothing.
be. Now we're enemies.
all
top
she
of
did
that-
was made it difficult for him
Yo.
with the next chick
Well,
a
there's
little
no-
bit.
No.
A little bit.
No, man, she
think-
made it easier.
Yeah,
she
she
made it
thinks,
easier.
yeah.
I'm gonna
Once
tell
he
you
proved
why.
her wrong, then
No,
she's-
he doesn't
No.
ever have to prove her wrong. She made it easier for him with the next chick because of this. Because there's a bunch of chicks sitting for you to do all that for him and he ain't do nothing for you. I need to see what's so good about
He
him.
must have been doing so good.
Yeah, that's
So,
man,
like,
listen,
women are so
what
backwards.
that's where the contradiction comes in.
so all that man bashing and preaching Rocky be doing
It
all
don't
these
matter,
shit.
bro.
But the thing,
It's
I would
backwards
never.
goddamn
I'm
thinking
not
that leads
I
you
was
to
saying,
do the
bro,
same
it's empty
shit.
symbolism.
I don't expose though. Like I don't
Bro, it's empty
expose.
symbolism,
I don't
bro.
expose
That's all it
anybody.
is.
I speak in general. I'm never gonna go expose
so-
No, and that's
somebody.
that's one thing I do give you credit
Yeah,
for.
I
Like I
never
said, you
exposed.
talk your shit, but you talk your shit from in generality.
Yeah,
Yo, but
I
you know,
still have my itch that need to be scratched, so I'm not about to jeopardize that.
Yeah, there you go. There ain't nothing wrong with throwing a little nasty shit into the conversation,
right?
Rock.
Generic stuff out there, and if it hits you, if that shoe fit, then put that shit on. But I'm never gonna say who I'm talking about. But there's different women in this world. Like
Yeah.
as a man, you need to know who you fucking with too.
That's a good point.
As a man, you need to know what type of bitch you fucking with.
You-
And
that's a
again,
good point.
it
You,
She gonna show you.
you know if you got
But
if you got a poster.
Yeah.
Do you,
Yeah.
in
You
the
know
poster,
it.
like, oh word, oh you.
She
okay,
done
I'm-
kicked your car a few times.
That's why I
You
don't
know
have sympathy
that.
for a lot of dudes, though. Like, I don't have sympathy, man, for
That's
a lot
true,
of
too.
dudes. Because they'll be like, damn, she did da-da-da-da. I'll be like, bro, the last 18.6 niggas she done dealt with, she done posted about them. Why did you think
Why you
that you
gonna
gonna
jump in
do
different?
The non-post-
Why did you think
Yeah.
you
The
gonna be different?
non-postee.
Yeah.
Yep.
These are things that you see and you ignore, and then we chalk it up to, it was a facade. It wasn't.
Right.
Nope.
Because, especially from their angle, this is what they do. They say, women are the best detectives. Women's intuition is never wrong. So your intuition told you that. But it didn't tell you that this nigga that can only talk to you from 4 p.m. to 9:23, he don't got no girlfriend. It didn't tell you that. It didn't tell you that this nigga who car and house been in the shop since you met him 49 days ago. 49 days ago.
First of all,
He got a house in the shop.
They told you all.
parts are back ordered.
Yo, hang on a second.
It is a session.
First of all, me and my
Shit is back ordered.
He fooled me.
Me and my baby.
This shit is back ordered.
The person's back on
Man, that's what it be
The
though.
parts were back ordered, sweetheart.
Me and my baby and I just live together.
Yo.
We ain't fucking
We
with each
are
other.
dogging like we dogging, man. Why y'all dogging us about this man? Because how he fool you for 6 months and he ain't fool us for 6 days.
That's real talk.
We been knew he was broke.
Yeah, yes,
We
man.
been nobody
That's
never
part-
had a job
that's
or
part
car
of
or
growing
no
up.
money. That
That's
nigga
funny.
showed up with 3 of my outfits on, and you thought he was somebody else.
Yeah.
That's part of growing up.
Master
bro.
of
It's
disguise.
not though.
It
It's
is.
not though.
It is.
Just be honest, because we will literally negate and omit all the red flags because we like a person.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's human. But stop saying you was fooled. You wasn't fooled. You were not fooled.
I
And
believe
that's
that.
the
Talk
point, because when you
about
like
it.
somebody enough, you will fool yourself.
No, but some people
Bishop-
are very good at
Ooh.
hiding. They are.
Right.
That was good though.
Right.
I was
Right.
good.
Don't
That's a
make
stat.
that.
That's a nice stat right there.
That was a good one.
That was
Yo, listen, I was
that
about
shit
to
hit me like, whoa, okay. I'm like, what do you know? What?
Right, man. The old man told me this for real. He said, you never ask a woman if she's single. If she likes you, she'll be single. And it makes perfect sense.
That's men.
That boy over here talking, ain't he?
She's
talking.
she'll be single.
That's with anybody. If they like you,
She will be single.
Especially
Whether
these
it's
men.
Yeah. So
But that
so-
goes to his
I want
point.
men
nice.
and women, so we're clear. I'm not just dogging on y'all. I want men and women to stop acting like they were fooled. They were fooled. Like, oh man, I thought she was a good girl, this, that, and the third. You met her after 19 days in a row of drinking Don Julio with her. Why would you think she was a homely woman?
Right.
Why would you think this?
Right.
Like,
Hello,
You gotta ask the questions.
I'm out here. I'm a socialite. I
Rock.
entertain
You
for a
a
living, and I
unicorn. You're a
really
unicorn,
want
Rock.
some women.
You're a unicorn in some ways.
Rock, you are Raquel for 98 hours a week. For 4 hours a week, you are Rocky B. You don't
Right.
count. You are a wholesome and career-loving
But,
family
but
woman.
listen, a lot of people don't know that side of me, right? A lot of men approach me because they're like, "Oh, she looks fun. She's entertaining.
Right.
She's the host." Right? They come at me with that.
That's
right?
the point,
They
though.
want a
That's
good
my point.
time. They come at me like,
That's
"Oh,
my
I want a
point.
good time. I want to enjoy Rocky B." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get with me and realize like Rocky B is really part of who I am, or percentage, a fraction of who I am, and the real me is really wholesome, and I have my boundaries, and I expect this and I expect that, and I am clingy and I am emotional and blah blah blah. They're like, oh shit, this is not what I signed up for, right? And then they go missing. That's my life. Like, oh, you wanted Rocky B. Oh, you want the beat 105.5. You wanted that
Right.
every day? No, baby,
you
that's
handle
not
that, though?
that.
How you
Huh?
handle that?
That's
Yeah,
why
that's a
I'm
good
single
question.
right now, because you know, I'm not gonna put up a facade just to keep you around. Like, this is who I am. So like, I'm an intellectual, really. Like I you know, so
You're
if
a
you want me
nerd.
to turn up every time, that's not me. So when they come around and realize, oh damn, she not about to give me oh, she don't want to have fun. Okay, I gotta at least pay for
You
something to
gotta
get
work
something.
for it.
Okay, well,
Damn.
this was fun, and that's why I'm in the situation where I am now. Yeah, I had my fun. Yeah, I could make calls and have fun, but that's not where I'm at right now in life. So that's what you're looking for. I make it very clear, like, this is what I want, and a lot of times men don't want that. This is a hookup culture now.
Yeah.
Everybody hooking
It's
up.
microwave culture. 30 seconds or less.
Finding love is damn near impossible. If you
I'ma
when you're
rewind you.
sweetheart, marry
I'ma
that
rewind you, though,
motherfucker,
V.
you cannot
We'll go
find
back.
love
Right,
right now.
I'm gonna remind you right quick, Rocky. I'm gonna give you the chance to clear something up right quick, because
Okay.
you just said
Uh-huh.
I could make calls and have
I
fun.
can.
Just say call. Just say you're gonna make one
I
call.
can make calls. No, I could. I could
That's
have a few
that make it sound like
people,
you
one
having
person.
a party. You ain't about to be out here telling
No Diddy at all. But I'm just saying, like, this is a hookup culture now. So if you're looking
Yeah.
for something serious, it's going to be a little harder. And if you're looking for something serious as a public figure, it's even harder. So it's like,
Oh, that kind of jump into that kind of,
Right, though, because it's a hookup culture from what I said previously, because people don't like each other, because people portray images.
Yeah.
So now you have people that like the image that you portrayed and portray and don't like you. So when you get with them, these people like the image that you portrayed, not who you actually are.
Yeah.
So now y'all might get together, have fun for a minute, but now when we get away from the fast food and we get to the soul food, now we're down to the meat and potatoes of the situation. Now you realize,
Come on, meat
I don't
and
like
potato.
vegetables. Like it's just like kids. Like it's just like kids.
Yeah.
You get in McDonald's, they cool. That was Saturday. We having broccoli on Monday. They don't want that. So now then you realize that's not like, all right, cool. And being that I don't really like you for real, I can break away from you easily
Yes.
because I don't really like you.
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
speak on that?
Yeah.
I never. Let me tell you how you dropped the word.
That was beautiful.
Let me tell you how he dropped the word.
You need a book.
I was entertaining this young lady. Now, as I've
Story
said,
time with Bear.
Yeah, that's it. So, as I've said before in our past podcast, I consider myself a relationship type dude, and I consider myself to
brown
be
bomber.
super. I'm like super into you early on, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain things that occurred to make me not be into. I could tell if I'm into her or not. I'll never forget it. This young lady asked me to go to. I would like. Let's say she lived on the west side. She wanted me to go to the south side to a specific store to get a cup of small ice that she could crunch, like a huge cup. I was so irritated by that request. That's like I said, I tell you, like I Mr. Trick. I spend money, whatever, blah, say blah, if I like you. It doesn't, there's no limits to whatever. But she asked me for the ice was free.
Man.
It took me 10 minutes. I was so irritated. I was irritated to my soul.
I'm irritated right now.
I was like, I said, and I said, in the response I gave her, she could tell, like, yo, it's ice. Like, you already about to be by there on your way here. But I was so bothered by the request that I said, damn, I really sat back and said, yo, I really don't like this girl like that. Because normally that wouldn't bother me. And that's piggybacking off what B said. I knew at that moment I wasn't into her, and I was into the facade of her. Yeah. Because the smallest thing she asked for, minor, and it was free. It bothered my soul.
But it wasn't just that, though. It was the fact that was a red flag for you. And that red flag didn't just pop up in your head. It hit you in the head. Like,
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And this is what I fought myself for too, is a bit of ego and male chauvinism and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm not about to drive to a gas station just to get a cup of free ice.
You're spending $10 for a cup of free ice.
When I look at the things that I've done for the women that I did like and was into, I'm like, I played my motherfucking self. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say to myself now, I said, damn, that little instance of what she wanted, the one, the rare one of the things that she asked me for, because she didn't ask for a lot.
Right.
It bothered me, but I also say to myself, if I wasn't into her and that bothered me so much, then I saved us both a bunch of time. I saved us both time, because now I judge that by that. Like the responses when you talking to somebody, like Rock said, it's a hookup culture. When you having these conversations, there are specific questions and scenarios you can ask somebody about and see how they deal and respond to help get through that facade. But it depends what type of person you are and what you're looking for too, though. So I myself I consider myself a conversationalist. We're gonna talk. We're gonna learn about each other, this, that, and the third, and halfway through the conversation, I can already tell if this is something that I'm gonna be interested in her or not.
And I think one of the big things is like one of the discussions on Facebook is always like, if a woman is into a man, he don't have to spend money. You don't got to trick, right? And that's huge. When I'm into a man,
where they at?
I can't clone myself. I can't be duplicated. But when I'm into a man, if I'm really into him, I really don't ask him to spend money. I'm not even looking for the money. I'm looking for the time. I'm spending a whole lot. I'm the one spending money. Like, it's okay. I got you. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'll get you a little thing. And that's when you know for a fact that a woman is really into you, man. Right? If she's coming at you like, my bills need to be paid. I need this. My son needs milk and da-da-da-da. That means she's really looking for
a
sponsor. She's looking for the come up. She's not really into you as the person, right? Because little dates like Applebee's or going to get coffee or going to get ice cream, a woman that's into you doesn't care where you go once she's with you, bro.
You shouldn't be.
I promise you that. So it's like, you want me? Oh, you want to go? You got to go get your car tire changed. Oh, I want to come. I'll sit with you.
You want me to help you get your house?
There's something on Facebook right now. I don't know if it was a local thing, but it was a thing of a stat telling women where they could go to meet
Find men.
upper
Yeah.
I heard about
echelon
that.
men.
They was talking about that at my work.
to meet upper echelon men, and I'm like, so y'all going to openly be gold diggers? Like,
Well, I think it was. I think.
going to
Correct me if I can't say if I'm right or wrong because I didn't read it, but I think it was more so about meeting
Good men.
quality
men.
dudes.
quality men
Yeah, I
with they
think it
with
was
they
more-
shit
Value
with they
men.
shit together,
High
high
value.
value men.
Yeah.
What they say.
But if you don't
guys
walk
are high-
if you don't
high
walk
value
through the
men.
doors, if you don't walk through those doors high value yourself, you need to be you need to match that.
Don't ask me for something that you can't
That's
afford
it. You
You need to
yourself.
match that.
Okay.
And on top of that, it's subjective. Like high value to me. I mean, like we talked about last time.
He sure did.
High value to me may be low value to you.
Right.
If you place someone's value on, oh man, I seen like on the status like, oh man, lawyers and the doctors are here. Does that mean he's not a scumbag?
Right.
Because he's a lawyer or a doctor?
Right.
And you have to look at these
Right.
things. And I'm very glad that Rock spoke on that about a woman showing she likes you, because a lot of men simply don't know. And I really have like a whole concept of they don't like you. And it's very hard, man, for people men to grasp that someone doesn't like you. They will make something else up. And I will tell a dude, I'll be like, yo, if a woman has been to your house 3 or 4 times and she ain't at least tried to move your soap holder, she don't like you. If you've been on 3-4 dates, you pay for everything, and she ain't even offer me to leave the tip, she doesn't like you. She simply doesn't like you. And you have to come to grips with that. But as men, our ego get in the way, and we be like, nah, I'm just gonna keep going. No. If that woman really likes you, she's going to do those things. You might can buy her lobster and steak. She can only buy you a McChicken and a sweet tea, but it shows that reciprocation because she likes you and she cared enough, man, to take away your hunger.
And it also goes for
Attention.
if you in the streets and you hustling and she ain't trying to give you ideas and ways to get out
to
the streets,
get you out, she don't like you. She don't
I
like
tell dudes
you.
that all the time.
She like what you are, and it goes the other way. Like I see so many women post, all these niggas want to do, man, is go chill with their homeboys and there. He doesn't like you. Because I've never met a man as a grown man that be like, yo, I'm about to go chill with my homeboys over this nice warm woman. I'm gonna go. If I got a girl and me and my boys go out and we got a section, my girl is in that section.
right? Oh, that's a fact.
She is coming with me. Because there's nothing better than I know how my night gonna go. I know who I'm drinking with. I know who I'm talking to. I know who I'm going home with.
Right.
So if a man is choosing his homeboys over you all the time, he just doesn't like you and come to terms with that.
Right.
He's not gay. And they say, oh, they might be fucking their homeboys. No, he just doesn't like you like that.
Right.
You may be the woman that's his placeholder. And you have to also understand where you are with a man when you meet him. At his best, the man talks to the woman that he wants. At his worst, he talks to the woman that he can. So you have to check him where he's at and see where he's at, because you may just be the woman that he can get at that time.
Right.
And when he gets back to his best, then he's going to talk to the
You
woman
have
that
a
he
lot
wants.
of, you have
Ladies,
a lot
do
of
not
people.
help
I know
no
section.
man.
I put this in his note because we gonna write a
That's what
book.
they say.
Put my name on it.
It's
With
not
you.
about
Don't help no man get
Golly.
back on his feet
Not about-
because
not
he
about
gonna leave
helping
you
him.
as soon as he on his feet,
Because
bro.
a man that's a man really doesn't need the help to get back on his feet. It's not about that. You may just be talking to him at that time. It's not saying that a man gonna leave you soon as he coming up. But what I'm saying is that even when a man is lower, if he really likes you, even at his low point, he will do what he can to show you that he really likes you. If y'all have sex and he go get up, man, and play the game with niggas, he don't like you. Because no man, I ain't talking about young niggas, I'm talking about grown men, no grown man chooses his homeboys over his girl, because if you a grown man and your friends are grown men, they gonna be with that girl too.
Right.
Right. Man, be chilling with you over, like what?
But you know, and another thing too is that and this is a question to all of you. Have you ever been with somebody that you truly like? When you both are when the chemistry is just there, the chemistry and the energy is just there.
Hell yeah.
None of that other shit is important. You don't
At
think
all.
about money,
That's
bills,
fact.
job,
That's a
careers,
fact.
nothing.
Run-
Your
run it down.
space that the space that you share with each other, the energy that you have with each other, none of that other shit is even
At all.
important. So when it's funny, as a society, we constantly look on social media, TV shows, and all that to give us direction in regards to what signs we need to look for in a relationship to make it work, blah, say, blah. But if you've ever been with somebody and the energy was reciprocated, everything else didn't matter.
Anything you do together, man, to be good.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Y'all might literally. I remember one time it was a young lady I was dating. We just loved being around each other. We built a fort on my living room floor and we was watching episodes of Power. You know, like, and I'm thinking like, yo, this is the goofiest,
That's mad
silliest
mushy.
shit.
That's some mushy shit. B.
Now though, but it's real.
What
though.
she
It's
said.
real, though.
Yo, it's
Now,
true.
when you hear somebody out in the world say, "I'll never do no goofy shit like that," man, fuck out of here. Man, when she said, I was like, okay. I was all into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because she literally, she could have been like, oh, let's go outside and let's see if we can catch some Pokemon. I'd be like, oh, fuck that. Yeah, let me get my night goggles. I'm gonna get my
Word, man, it don't matter what it is, as long as you doing it with them.
If you,
Yes.
whatever, if the energy's there and it's
He's dead right,
reciprocated
though.
and
He's
the
dead
vibe
right.
is right, it doesn't even matter. None of that
Yes.
other shit even matters.
Matters.
Career status, money, none of that.
None of that
Right.
And
matters.
so, and I
'Cause
think
it's-
in society now we itemize so much and we pinpoint so much of this bullshit that doesn't matter that we forget. Like Brandon and tie back to what B
Yeah.
said is that you don't even like each other.
Yeah.
We out here. What's the word when you putting all the clothes material on? I forgot. What's the bird with the big ass tail feather with multiple colors?
Oh,
The
yeah.
NBC icon. Peacock. We out here peacocking.
Peacock.
Yeah.
We out here peacocking.
Nah, you right.
We catch all these
Yeah.
mates and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. When we come to get around each
Yeah.
other, I be looking when I'm in these events that the events I do. You can tell the couples that really want to be with each other. You know what I'm saying? Then you can tell the couples that really don't. Like the dude is walking like 5 feet ahead of the woman, and,
Yeah,
and you know,
You see
and
that
the
all the
woman's
time.
off talking to
Yeah,
somebody. He
right.
up and doing like, but you could tell the couples that they laughing and talking. I remember I saw this one couple that at one of the events I did. They talked and laughed all night. I literally got to the point. What the fuck is they talking about?
So
Word. All this shit.
They got so
the
much
fuck
to
is they
talk
got going on? Why the fuck they so happy?
Right, what they got? What they got?
Word, that's just some bullshit. Like, I just
Nah,
got
though, that's
mad.
what it be, though. Like,
I
that's
just
what it
mad
be.
that they were so happy,
Right.
and you could tell. It was crazy is when they see if they hear this podcast, this couple's gonna know who I'm talking about. But they generally love being around each other.
Yeah.
They love
That's dope.
each other.
That's
And
dope.
like I
Yeah.
said,
That's
this
dope.
shit is sickening. It makes me
Yeah.
sick.
That's what it be.
I
Like,
hate it. I want it so bad. I want that too. Oh, God.
Tell them why you mad. Tell them why you mad.
That shit is hard to
Although what he's saying, I was gonna make a stat this morning, but I never meant took the time to write it. And it just go along the lines of all of the marriages and relationships that I admire all share the same thing in common. I don't know. And what I mean by I don't know who pays what percentage of the bills. I don't know who
man.
eats first. I don't know who get the big piece of chicken. I don't know what either of their draws look like. I don't know any of these things. I don't know what they argue about.
Right.
And their things may not be perfect, but guess what?
You
I don't know if they're perfect, but I do know that they keep going.
Right.
And it don't got nothing to do with what they got or none of that. You can just tell, like, damn, they really love the shit out of each
Yeah.
other.
This got to be older couples, right?
No.
I'm talking about
I
people
know
our age and
younger
younger.
marriages,
Yeah.
marriages right now, and like I admire the shit out of it. Like, because you know it and you see it, you like, yo, like they never get into an argument, man, and go on the net
Yeah.
and start throwing shots.
Right. Yeah, you see them all the time. Well,
Because that's
It's
having
one mashed
that,
potatoes
that's
now.
having that
Shit
friendship,
like that.
right?
Come on, man.
A lot of times those relationships are like that because they're friends.
Yeah.
They have a friendship, right? And a lot of times friendships will save relationships when it comes to like arguments and all that stuff. That friendship is that glue. So like you really have your best friend, right? Like I want a man where I see a chicken cross the road, I want to call him and be like, yo, this chicken just crossed the road.
Yeah.
And we're laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have that glue for that relationship
That's real
to
talk.
actually be.
Have you
to-
ever
to
spent time
succeed.
around a happy couple? Like,
They're
when I mean
friends.
by happy, people mistake what I mean by happy. And I'm about to get into my B. Gibson bag when I say happy. I'm not saying people walking around floating on butterflies smiling. When I'm saying happy, I'm talking about the nature of the relationship. When you locked in with somebody, no matter the circumstances, the difficulties that may come in within that relationship, I know that I got you to get me through, and you got me to get you through, whatever it may be. That's what I mean by happy. The stance, the platform, the foundation is happy. It's built on it's built on authenticity and commitment.
Friendship.
And that's the foundation, and that comes from you being my friend. You understand the intimate parts of my life that I don't want to share with nobody.
Yes.
I understand yours,
Yes.
the pain, the struggle, the traumas,
Yes.
whatever it may be. We may not even have conquered it all, but we're going to, whatever we come from, we come together. Like I said at my brother's wedding, I said a perfect love is two imperfect people learning to love each other perfectly. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And I say, and the
Okay,
reason I
Bear
say that is,
Gibson.
I've been through a lot of pain. I've been through a lot of pain. I've been through a lot of pain. I said something in my B. Gibson bag. But what I say is that in our age and younger, like I say between the 30s and the late 40s, 50s, whatever, you still in you still in that phase of, if you're single, you're still looking for your partner, your person.
Right.
And the things that we look for change based on what our perception of perfection or what we want is. What I realize now at my age, like I said, in my area and all that stuff like that, I care more for someone who cares about the parts of me that I don't notice. And like I said, if you, for example, doing security and nursing, I'm on my feet 18, 20 hours a day, right? So I'm gonna have leg pain, back pain, all that stuff.
Right.
Or even with the way the world is shaped up, when I go out into these events, I don't know if I'm coming back home. You never know what's going to happen. Things are extremely dangerous nowadays. I want somebody to address those issues. You know, like I said, I'm a big dude. I'm going to eat. Regardless, if you can cook, that's a plus. But I want you to address the issues of me that I'm not readily thinking of. Hey, are you like the past heat wave we have? Call me. Are you hydrated? Are you drinking enough? Are you? I just want to make sure you're okay. Listen, is anything I could do for you? Not substantial, because it's not about money. Like Rock said, it don't got to be about money. And you said that before. It could be about the thought. Even if I don't have you do anything, the fact that I know that you're thinking about me in that way speaks volumes. And that's what I look for. But in today's culture, that gets lost because everybody wants
everybody looking for help.
Ready.
Everybody looking for help.
You know who need to hear that? Who need to hear what you just said is a bunch of young professional athletes that's getting into relationships.
But you've been to them symposiums, and you've been through the NFL route thing. You got nothing but OGs around y'all, schoolyard stuff. We just choose to ignore it.
You hear it, you hear it, right? But then you go out into the real world and you start getting all these yes men and these yes women. But you very rarely find the young man that's just signed a contract for a whole lot of money.
Right.
That's gonna go out there and take what he learned and apply it. For dudes like Travis Hunter.
We laugh at people like
he came
that.
out and got
we
married.
Laugh at him,
he came out and got married immediately to this girl, and everybody's saying,
she not for him.
don't do it. Don't do it. No.
Live your life.
But nobody knows if she's that type of chick that's saying, did you drink enough water in between practice? Are you doing this or are you doing that? But it's hard as an athlete to be with anybody. It's hard to be with anybody. For one, you too fucking busy. You working out all the time, and then you got everybody in your ear telling you you got the world in your hand. Don't go out there and tie yourself down to nothing. And then everybody saying yes to you. Every woman that you gonna go up to, you gonna say yeah. That's a problem. That's a real problem. That's a real problem.
Bro,
ask me how I know.
I know. I can assume with that, but I know, and this is not a knocking career status, but I know CNAs like that. I know male CNAs like that. I know cats that work at Walmart like that they have a plethora of access to whatever woman they want. I know a few cats that work at Walmart now, literally now, work at Walmart now, that have women leaving their jobs, bringing them lunch. And these women to be like lawyers, doctors, all that stuff like that. So I just the kind of piggyback of what you're saying is, I say this, and this is, and I'm gonna go into a little spiel. I'm wrap it up quick. There was multiple surveys done about the access that successful single women have, and by successful, these women made anywhere from 60, 70,000 a year up that they had to available men. It was literally, and I kid you not, I know in Atlanta it was like 300,000 to 1. 200 to 300,000 to 1. I'm talking about as far as the type of what they were looking for versus what they had to offer. In Houston, they did, it was, I want to say it was Atlanta, Houston, New York, and somewhere else. And it was insane. Yeah. It was insane. And what I say to this ridiculous. Is, and me and Rock talked about this before, I said the reason why the men quality, so-called men quality may have dropped, because we don't have to try as hard to get high value or good woman. And I'm just being honest. I'm not throwing shots or anything like that. I can go on social media into inboxes. I can shoot 100 shots. Women don't know anything about me. They may think they know something about me. Yeah. As I'm not talking about me personally, I'm just talking about in general. I'm gonna get 20 to 30 replies. A yes. So who ain't gonna do that? My numbers are amazing because there's more women out there looking for good men than good men
sure.
looking for women. And I'm just talking about number
Because if you're a
wise
good man, you're gonna have your way. If you
Exactly.
you got your stuff together, you're gonna have your way.
Exactly.
And the women trying to find that one to I got
this
I
podcast
got a
it
quick
shows
story.
out with women who are successful saying they would prefer a cat with no job,
Yeah.
as long as he can stay home and she can pay all the bills, and I know I got him at home that's just for me.
Right.
So the qualifications in order to get what I want have dropped. So now you want me to spend money and do all this stuff to get you when there's 100 other yous out there I don't have to do any of that for.
That's a fact.
All I gotta do is just
That's a
wait
fact.
it out.
Right.
And I'm not saying that should be done, but I'm just saying that that's the type of era that we live in now.
And it all
big
boils down to she likes the guy that she has sitting at home.
That's
That's
true
what
too.
it boiled down to.
That's true
so
too.
like even in that relation of that study, I'm saying, man, what they have, man, what they have to offer, or man, what they bring to the table. It's no intangibles. It's all tangible.
Yep.
Because what they're weighing is salary, credit score, whatever, versus what they're expecting
Right.
from a man. Yeah, so that's all the same thing.
Yep.
So, and that's why like people can say these things and say, oh, well, I'm looking for this and I'm looking for that. Well, why can't I find that? And it's because people don't know how to endear them to their target audience. It's just like when like a man wants like a beautiful woman. And they'll say, well, damn, I got money and this, and that, and the third. I don't understand why she has been talking to this dude that's a janitor at Strong.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get it. You coming at her the same way. If she's 35, 40, she's been pretty her whole life. So for 35, 40 years, she's been hearing I'm pretty. She ain't been asked something simple like what's her favorite color since the 3rd grade.
Right. Right.
Do you know her interests? Do you know what she likes? What shows she
What's her
likes?
favorite book?
What is her last name?
And it's a lot of times the men that got their shit together don't try as hard. Right. Like you said, don't try as hard. So there's the guy that the Lenroys, right, that come in your inbox and crack jokes and be like, they have this personalities out of the world, and that's what we gravitate towards. Like, oh my God, I never heard that pickup line before. Here's my number, right? Because the men that got their shit together are mean. They think they could get any woman they want, so they're not chivalrous. They're not doing the things that the Leroys will do, right? They're not getting the flowers. They're not getting that. Like, why am I getting the flowers for?
They've been shaped by y'all. Men, we are reactionary. We are reactionary creatures.
I say that all the time.
Because the number one thing in us is we try to reduce rejection by any means possible. So if a man tries something with you or on you, it's either one of two things. It's worked for him or he's seen it work for somebody else. So
But I'm saying the men that feel as if the high value men, often the high value men are not doing the romantic stuff. They're not doing those gestures.
High value because again, we get our sense of value in that sense in the dating space from y'all. So if we say, man, we have value, it means, okay, the women said, as long as I got a good job and a credit score in the house, I'm a high value man. They get their value from y'all.
Yeah, but that means you're not going to pursue as hard. You're not going to apply that pressure
That's a fact.
that would get the
I've been
man
there.
down the street, right? You know, I love calling him the Pookies and the Ray Rays. They're
Right,
going
you
to
said emotional
get me
intelligence.
because he's going to apply that pressure. He's going to show, he's going to listen, right? A lot of time men want a safe space. Women want men that listen. And once you provide that safe space for a man and he can vent to you, oh, it's over. Like he locked in.
I'm not gonna lie, you'll get me like that.
Yeah, you
Straight
locked
up,
in.
you will.
And women, all we want to know
If I
is
can cry
like
in front of you, you ain't gonna post it?
You
You
listen
got
to us,
me.
like you heard the little details. Like a little romance is good, but high value men tend to be assholes, right? Because
don't
they
require
feel as
them to
if
be.
like I got my shit together. I know I'm in the 1 percentile, so bitch,
I can't-
you got
you
to work for me.
don't have to be
You
there.
got to work for me.
Right.
It's so
Guys,
tough,
like
though.
a serious question as a man and woman.
I'm just telling you.
No. I just want to ask you something. How many times when a woman lists her criteria for a high value man, I heard you talk about things about like emotional availability. How many times do you hear women actually list that? It's always tangible. It's never intangible. It's always tangible. And the thing is, what I'm saying is that these guys are assholes because they are literally trying to tailor who they are to the value criteria set forth by y'all. Y'all don't require it when y'all say it. Y'all don't never list a high value man and say, yo, he needs to be compassionate. He needs to be emotionally intelligent and available. So he feels I don't have to be that. All I have to be is rich.
And that's the thing. We will marry the rich man,
Right?
Because we want that stability. But we're gonna go cheat on you with the guy that's emotionally available.
golly.
We're gonna go cheat on you with the guy that listens. We're gonna go cheat on you with the guy that asks what color your toenails are today and you're beautiful and all this stuff. Because you're not you don't care about that because you feel your worth is in what you provide financially or the materialistic stuff that you provide. And at the end of the day, like, okay, yeah, that's cool too, but she needs her emotional needs met, and that's what he's doing. That's not what you're doing. So you wonder why you're getting cheated on with that guy. That guy? You cheat on me with a nigga that wear black ups?
I've heard women say that. I've heard women say, I cheated on my husband because the dude at work or wherever just made me laugh.
The work husband is the lethal. That is the cheat code. Being a work husband,
it's all
little thing. She come into work like, my man don't care about me. He don't love me. He don't do nothing. And he's like, word. Oh,
Hey, I knew it. I knew it. I looked at him.
What she said, work husband. When we go to work, how long we at work? 8 hours a day. So that's time. Women love time. Women run off time.
Yeah, but
that work husband know everything you ain't doing.
when you was talking, I went like this. I'm paying from here to here. I said he about to eat this shit.
That work husband know everything.
Because he know. So when you ask, because I ain't gonna lie, I used to be in that mindset, man, I do this, I get money, and she messed with this dude, that dude. But as you evolve as a man, you realize women run off time.
Yeah.
He's there to listen to them corny jokes. He watching them goofy man reality shows.
Yep.
He rubbing her feet and playing in Pokemon like Bear say.
Yep.
You just think because you got money and you pay the bills, and she don't even really like you at that point.
So don't.
She really likes son at her job.
Yep.
Can't wait to get to work. Sign up overtime, everything.
And I can only speak because
You come to the office.
my life has been
donuts in this.
yeah. My life has been
so happy.
my life has been like it's been since 9 years old.
Right.
Since 9 years old, I stepped on the football field, and from there, it's been the same type of deal. So to say that for the athlete, you go and you make a living, make a life for yourself, and you're jumping from woman to woman because you know this, you know that you don't have time for her.
Right.
You know you don't have this time. I was fortunate to land a good one, a great one. So for the male athlete, the professional athlete, or the superstar person, whether you made it pro or not, you got to go into it with that mindset. Like, yeah, I can be with her, but I know that I'm gonna have to jump in a minute because she don't like me. I'm at practice all the time. I'm lifting weights all the time. I'm with my boys because we all in the same group. We going to spend money and doing that. And I don't want to be with somebody that just want me for that. So when these men go into these relationships, that's a whole big ass.
Most spitting right now.
That's a whole big ass
Definitely.
percentage of high quality men. That is out of the running. You can't touch them because they know what y'all up to. And we are like, nah, we're not doing it. So in the symposium that I went to, my rookie symposium in the NFL, we had a lady walk on the stage, and it's a bunch of us. She walked on the stage, finer than what you couldn't even put her together in AI, right? Fine. Spanish, I think, and hip curvy and this and that. She talking to us for about 30 minutes, telling us about how women are going to try you this way and that way and this way. She tell us about how she has been with an athlete and has been with a 9-to-5 guy. At the end of her spiel, when I tell you this lady was bad, she was bad. At the end of her spiel, she told us, I'm HIV positive. Every dude in there was like, oh my God. Every dude in there started thinking about every chick that he been with. Started wanting to make phone calls. Let me see if this chick getting skinny and all that. It was the scariest part of my life when I heard that. This lady, fine as hell, sat up there in front of all of us and told everybody she was HIV positive.
And it's crazy, man, that you say that, man, as an athlete, because most athlete men divorce. I had looked it up. I'd be looking up random shit or falling.
Yeah, we're not surprised, bro.
After they stop playing.
Yeah.
Because now
They what?
I don't just gotta be with you after the season. Wait, now ain't no more season. Now I'm home with your ass all the time,
Yes.
and I realize I don't
Yes.
really like you.
He's saying that most athletes divorce.
Now, a lot of that has to do with us going through withdrawal
True.
because we are not used to being a regular person.
Right.
It's like we get out of that spotlight and we start chasing it. And even I even take it to my own life. If you see me, I'll make big moves. Everything that I do is like big, right? I'm not stupid to say that shit just happening or I'm just doing it. I'm chasing the spotlight because I'm used to it. I can't live without it. So it's like when you go and you score that touchdown, you see 50,000 people screaming for you. You got to feel that again. You got to have it again. And then once it's
Very
done,
interesting take,
when
man.
you
Good
when
shit,
you're
good
not
shit.
scoring no more touchdowns, and now you start to see if people really fucking with you just because you,
Yeah.
and they not just fucking with you because you that guy that everybody talking about. You got to really put everything in perspective of who you deal with, how you deal with them,
Right.
women that you deal with, how you deal with them, and then you got to see like, all right, who's here for me?
Yeah.
Who's here for me?
and
When
then
all
even
this
on a
shit,
local
when I
level,
take the
that's-
helmet off, shoulder pads off, cleats off, who is really here worrying about me?
Another
and for me?
aspect too that, and it's funny. I'm gonna tie it into mental health, especially for
It's
black
a big
men.
part of it.
How do we feel about ourselves? Because outside of one thing, okay, I've been doing a lot of digging into me, and one thing I'll lay on y'all, I suffer from social anxiety disorder, and a part of what I suffer from as far as social anxiety disorder is that I don't like, and oddly enough, I don't like large crowds. Or big spaces, empty spaces. So to compensate for that, I dive in it. Like, how they teach kids how to swim, they throw them in the deep end. I dive in it. So when you see me out and about in the crowd, what a lot of people don't notice is that I'm always by myself. 95, 98%, if I'm not with one of my guards, I'm by myself.
That's me.
It's because and the people don't realize, they think, oh, like when people say, you always working, you always doing this. Yeah, but that's how I deal with that.
Right. Yeah.
That's how I deal with it, because I will put myself in a room, a dark room, and just shut down for as long as I can, because I first of all, I love it and it brings me peace. But I surround myself with some people say white noise, with the crowds and everything like that. I flourish in that because I thrive because I'm constantly battling that. And when I see people, it makes, when I say tied to the mental health, is when that stops and you're in that quiet space, in that in the darkness or whatever, you start questioning your own worth.
Yeah.
Because you start saying, who am I? And it's not, I don't want to just keep it to athletes. I say anybody who has an active and busy life, who's, it's like, okay, for example, I work in long-term care, and I work heavily with the geriatric population. Imagine, for example, you've owned houses, you build houses, you had a 40, 50 year, 60 year career of owning your own stuff. You get to the point now where you can't feed yourself, take care of yourself. You still got your full mental capabilities, but now you're in this one room with a bathroom. And sometimes you got to share the room. You've been reduced to that. And you start seeing that towards your twilight years, into your life, towards the end of your life, like you start questioning your worth.
Right.
Like, and you start saying to yourself, what have I actually done? Who's checking for me? Who's checking for me? Who's checking up on me? Like I said, and you start questioning, like I said, you start looking inwards, and sometimes a lot of people can't handle what they see. The facade of your outside life is gone now.
Right.
So now what do you have to substantiate that?
Right.
And that's why I'm such a proponent, and to tie it back to what we're talking about, I'm such a proponent for real love.
Yeah.
I'm such a proponent, and when I say real love, I'm talking about the family love, the friend love, the brother sisterly love, and the actual romantic love, because that will sustain you. I know I've seen couples who damn near homeless, but they're in it together and they're working and they're happy. They might not be happy with the circumstances, but they're happy that they got each other.
A lot of people date for the image.
Exactly.
Right?
That
You're
too.
dating for the image. You don't even like that girl, but you fucking with her because she got a BBL. She Hispanic. She got long hair. She look good. She look good for you. She look good for your image. But when you in private in your own home, you don't even like her because she annoy you.
And she can't cook.
She annoy you, right? She can't cook.
She can't cook.
Right? A lot of girls go with the drug dealers because being with a drug dealer certifies that you a bad bitch. Right? You don't even like that man because he got 50 other bitches.
Right.
But he's good for your image.
Or
It's all about the image. A lot of people date for the image.
Get with the athlete.
Yeah, because it's good for the
That's
image,
the image.
but you don't like that person.
And just a sidebar, it's crazy because no woman wants to cook for you more than a woman that can't cook. She will cook every day.
Yeah.
3 times a day. They can't cook shit. All the food tastes like it came out the Easy Bake Oven. And you just be trying. And that's when you know you like it. When the food nasty and you still try it every time.
Oh,
You be like,
God.
damn, I like
You
you.
got to,
This shit tastes like seasoned cardboard,
yo,
baby. I love you.
you got to be a strong dude to repeatedly eat bad food just because you want to say, yeah, baby.
Like, that's why I think we gonna eat a lot of takeout.
Yeah, we going
like,
out.
oh, well, baby, I mixed it up.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I would take that to work tomorrow
Yeah.
because I can throw it away on the way to
Yeah.
work. You know what I'm saying? But the takeout,
Have y'all
that's what
ever
we gonna
done
eat.
that?
What?
Fellas, have y'all ever dated a woman who can't cook?
Hell yeah.
Really?
Nope.
Yes.
Man, wow.
I've been fortunate. I like I said, I found a good one. She could cook.
I'm from the island, so
And-
it's part of the DNA. Like you,
I don't think
at least I know how to
I don't
season
think I'm
properly.
I don't think I'm physically capable.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
dealing with
but for
somebody
me
that
though,
can't cook?
but for
Nah,
me,
it's- yeah.
it wouldn't go that far. So for me,
Really?
listen, because I'm in the
That's a
house.
requirement.
Y'all,
But that's a generation. It got to be a generational thing.
y'all know I'm in the
Because
house. though.
YNs don't care.
Right.
I'm in the house. I'm not a YN. I'm in the house. So it wouldn't even go that far. If you can't cook,
That's exactly
it's
what I'm
gonna
saying.
it's gonna be cut off because this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, like,
it's not gonna
oh,
work.
See now,
That's a requirement.
See now, man,
What
how
if she
it work
could
for
take
me
you
is
out to
this.
eat? What if
I
she could
already
take
like to go out to eat a lot.
Yeah.
So now what we built was built on us basically being out anyway.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
it's like I
there
already
you go.
like you. I already
There
done
you go.
fell.
There you go.
If that Alfredo dry, I'm
you
gonna
go.
just figure it out. I already like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You a better man
you
than me,
done
Brandon. I
had
can
you done
admit
had
that.
Alfredo, and then you had her Alfredo, and it ain't like this ain't Alfredo. So you gotta.
I'm gonna cook
You
my
need
own
to.
shit.
You need to. You need to. You need to copy that Alfredo, and and talking about copying people's shit. Let's talk about this lady. This julep lady.
You got
I'm
this
sorry.
crazy
The
backstory.
backstory.
You gotta give a crazy
Somebody
backstory.
read the post.
She's wait.
Oh,
you
my
want
God.
me to read the post?
Just,
Yeah, please.
just to give it
The real
background-
journalist
yeah,
on
My
set.
Julie.
just to give a backdrop of what's going on is that we're in the middle of a julep war,
War.
and just
In
so
Rochester,
you know,
New York.
in
We
Rochester,
got a
New York,
julep
we have
war.
a julep war. And if you're not familiar with a julep is a cup of frozen flavor ice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
like
sold
Kool-Aid.
in the hood, and that basically you buy on hot days, you want to support somebody. There's always
Yeah.
some julep lady or some julep kid in the
Yeah.
hood. So this is what's going on.
Let's read the post. So again, Rochester, New York. This is the kind of shit we go through. Now,
Do I say
And this
who it
made
is or
big
no?
news.
no,
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 not
no.
gonna say who it is.
This made
Okay.
big news.
but
in
this is a
Rochester.
post on Facebook that we had to deal with.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so the post says, for a while now, I've been hearing that a few people have been copying the flavors of juleps that my daughter and I have came up with. I'm going to put this public for everyone and anyone to see. Some of you might not understand the law and suggest you all learn it and understand it. If I've been working with my lawyer on my paperwork to patent our products. This means that whoever is selling something that we created and we have proof to back it up since 2008, because I'm the first person to make limber juleps with fruits and adult flavor ones. I will take whoever to court and I will sue you civilly. I will also have the courts make you pay me damages due to violation of copyrights. If you don't think this is possible, you should consult an attorney. I'm ready to take anyone to court.
I like julep. I love it.
So
I love it.
So,
I love
so
it.
this
I
lady,
love
so
it.
this lady, she wants nobody making the same flavors of juleps that she makes. And it took Rochester by storm, and everybody went crazy.
Everybody-
It was the foolishness
Juleps,
of
when
it.
I
Divisive.
listen, when I was a kid, juleps was 10 cents or quarter.
Yeah.
They was 25 cents.
I'm
You would
about to
go
say,
to
you
the
ain't that
house.
old,
You would
Mo.
go to the julep house and go get you. Man, shut up. You would go to the julep house and with your dollar, with your boys, and everybody got a julep.
Yep.
Right. But now juleps done went to limber. I don't even know what limber is. What the fuck
What
is
is a
limber?
limber?
What is limber?
I don't even know.
I think limber. Was it liquor? Was she saying
no
liquor?
limber. I
Limber?
think
Limber / juleps.
I think limber is something like in the Latino culture. Because she's a Latino lady.
If I'm not mistaken, I bought juleps from this lady before too.
I
bunch of
mean,
people
but the
have-
whole thing
bunch
is just
of-
like the thing that I don't get that she's going on. You can't copyright a julep. So when she's like, man, damages.
Wanna go
I mean, you put fruit in a julep, and then like I went through her page. She's real crafty. She had a cookies and cream julep. I'm like, oh,
Get a
No
cookie
way.
and cream
yeah, it was
julep.
a cookies and cream with like frozen milk, like with cookies. Nah, that us. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was very crafty.
She could patent
For
that.
people that don't know, juleps
It's like
cost
Shark Tank. You can go to Shark
juleps
Tank
cost
and be like,
$3. Well, these juleps are $3 now.
No,
right?
they're
A dollar.
No, they're $1.
$1. So she gonna patent this
you
julep.
can patent anything you created.
Then
can't
she
you?
been incriminated
You
herself,
can't,
and she
but
didn't even
who-
realize. You said that You had adult flavors. You don't have a liquor license, and you're saying that you sold adult juleps. So you've actually incriminated yourself by telling people to
That
research
could be
the law.
nothing. That could be like sex on the beach flavor,
Let me ask you a
which
question.
is
How
you don't
can
know it got
copy-
liquor in it.
Can you copyright something that's already copywritten?
No.
Yeah, so I'm saying like I'm pretty sure she's buying copywritten products to make this, and I'm pretty sure one she's not paying taxes, sales tax.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure she does not have a business
That's the
license.
whole.
Doesn't have a
So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
letting-
That's
so-
the whole.
yeah.
That's the whole thing about
Yeah,
it.
so
Like
you
said,
so how you're
Leave her
running
alone.
an illegal operation and you're gonna sue somebody
out of your house.
She has
Out of your
Where the
house.
Her lawyer
they
advised
ain't
her.
coming in and
I'm
checking
talking
your
about
checking your
wait a minute,
kitchen,
so your lawyer
your freezer. They
didn't
ain't
say
checking none of
your
that.
lawyer didn't say, "Hey, shut the fuck up," because you ran a whole illegal. Your lawyer didn't tell you like, chill, get the money you can get and shut the fuck up because
she don't get that.
You know, 27 laws, but you worry about this one goddamn law. They'll shut all this shit down.
She didn't
Take
even
all
catch
this
that
money,
part.
and you worried about the fact that somebody
Yeah.
across town
lawyer
is selling
said-
red
Damn.
berry flavored juleps too.
She
You know
mad
what
at-
killed me though?
She run a
She
trap house. She run a julep trap house. She run a trap house. And she went with the wrong
Yo, but she selling liquor. She's selling.
Word.
She's selling.
for sponsorship.
Oh my god, that's the whole part of it though. That's the whole part of you doing all this illegal
You
shit.
know what?
You know what I
Wrong
knew she was
shit.
crazy though? Because, as I said, man, she's a Latino.
She about to sue us next.
And the other Latino that was on the stat, like, you brought all this shit that we done had in our country for years. And all you did was bring it over here man, when you came.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're like, yo, man, like my abuela was making
If you
it-
read the comments on this thing,
Yo,
it's crazy.
The comments, they went crazy.
Yo,
The
man,
comments.
yo,
Yo,
man, we can see shit, man.
We about to get sued next.
Listen.
Talking about her.
Listen, y'all.
Oh gosh.
Oxtail juleps is coming soon. Man, I'm about to patent the oxtail juleps.
Oh, my
so,
God.
so
She gonna
you better
sue
not
us for
try to sue me.
defamation.
Yo.
Frozen gravy
Sue
on
him.
top.
Listen,
Frozen gravy on
like
top
I
of my
said,
oxtail
like I
julep.
said,
I'm just letting
we
you
will
know.
have a motherfucking legal war. First of all,
You
I'm
know
not
how-
knocking anybody hustle.
Yo.
Julep's been around forever.
Yo.
You know, so do your thing, but you take
yeah,
it.
do what you need.
Yo, on top of all this, shit, on top of all this, you know how many juleps you gotta sell to pay this lawyer?
I'm like, well, how well is she doing? Because she said, I've been in talks with my
How
lawyer.
many juleps do you have to
First of
sell
all,
to
what-
retain this lawyer?
Bruh,
What lawyer
bruh.
took the case?
Bruh.
What lawyer?
What lawyer took the case? Like, what you call me?
Greg Salmon.
Lawyer's gonna take
Man, y'all know Greg
Greg
Salmon.
In Living Color, and the lawyer off in Living Color.
Y'all know Greg Salmon took
Only
that
you
case.
talk to that's willing to go to war with
Yo.
anybody.
She is the Griselda Blanco of julep.
Yo.
Greg
Like,
Salmon
I'm,
took
just
that
saying,
case.
I'm not making fun of the business. I salute
Yo.
the business. Get your money. But
We better
let's,
get
let's
sued.
scale
God
it back
damn it.
down.
Yo,
Let's scale it
we
back.
coming to buy juleps.
Yo, I'm about to call my lawyer.
If I start telling me we can buy some shit.
Yo, bro.
I couldn't even
Greg
be.
Salmon?
I just I couldn't imagine being the individual that you consult with. That we about to make a public stat, like the white lady that always hold the press conferences
It was-
when the actors and actresses getting sued. Like we taking Mo Jackson to court for copying our cookies and cream.
Yo,
Oh, you talking about Magnolia already?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo.
Like come on, man.
The stat was well written.
Yeah,
She well
I
written.
think the lawyer
Do you know? Hey, yo, bro, do you know how many kilos of Kool-Aid you got to distribute? Man, what are we talking
Hey,
about?
listen,
here?
hey,
Yo, y'all front. I want to try that cookies and cream.
No, I'm like, that's good.
I need to try that.
Shit.
Yo, bro,
we all
Listen,
bullshit. We
go
probably
to
end
her
up going over there.
Don't
today.
listen.
Hey, yo, I promise y'all, go
She
to her
better bring
page.
us some juleps next show.
to try it.
She gonna bring us some.
That's
Yeah.
Sponsored by-
Hey, we gonna shout her.
Yeah.
She didn't sponsor us. We just
Sponsored by-
have juleps all
Oh,
over the
my
table.
God.
Yeah.
I want to bring something since we talk about legalities.
DJs?
and we-
Oh, sorry.
Oh, don't hang on a second. Then we gonna end with that. We're gonna end with that. Since we talking about the legalities, we're gonna talk about my boy Diddy.
Yeah.
I know we bringing it back up.
Yes.
I don't
But-
think
We got
enough
to.
time.
But
We have to.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Number one, what we're speaking about. I guess there was a big thing on social media and going around that there was an announcement that a few of the charges were being thrown out.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of lawyers got on social media to explain exactly what was going on. No charges were being thrown out.
Right.
So in my most non-legalese form, just for clarification, you guys can clarify, the charges went from being attempted to actually being done.
Right.
So they went to the court to the prosecution went to the court to basically state that we no longer want the jury to consider the attempt of their charges, because we're saying that he actually did these things, and our case is so strong that we presented, we're actually proving that. So when they go back and consider the guilty, not guilty, understand we're accusing him of doing these things. We're not saying he attempted to. Like that.
So nothing was dropped.
So if you've been in the streets, there's a difference between attempted possession of a controlled substance and actual possession of a controlled substance. So I'm assuming this, and am I correct in saying that I'm assuming like they're saying that no, Diddy's in trouble. We're just saying this type of trouble. He actually did that.
Yeah. So they're not trying to prove attempted arson. They're proving that he did commit arson.
Okay.
So those charges was not dropped.
Okay.
They were not dropped.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So right now, as it stands, they're deliberating right now. Closing arguments went. The prosecution pretty much said that they've proven their case against him with how he paid these escorts to travel. That's sex trafficking. And
with the intent of prostitution.
With the intent of prostitution. How he kidnapped Cassie because he wouldn't let her go out of the house after he hit her, and she's got a black eye, so he didn't want that to be seen. So they've proven all this stuff. The defense went a more comical way with it and said that Diddy is not a criminal; he's just a swinger. and that's their thing. They made it comical. They wanted people to laugh and say that he's not a criminal; he's just a swinger. But you got to tie in all
They're
the
saying
all the
Agree
criminal
possession
shit.
of all that baby oil. I mean, that kind of.
They said if he's guilty of anything, he's having a complicated relationship. Like they're not even. They say even though there's domestic abuse, he's not on trial for domestic abuse. So don't let that paint the type of character that you try to see.
So I think right now the way it stands is like with some of the evidence that came out with the women were text messaging, the evidence, the hard evidence of them saying that they want to do this, they want to do that. Like that kind of proved their case, the defense's case, that these women were willingly doing this stuff.
Yes.
But you can't, and when that happens, you can't go the other way because they actually did it. Like those women actually sent those text messages. They sent those voice recordings saying, I want to do this for you. They said it. So you can't really go against that when they've said they said it. But, so I don't know if he's going to go to jail for all of it, but he's going to jail for the
one thing that really got me at the end of last week was that I seen in the narrative throughout was that he basically and coerced Cassie mom into giving him $20,000, or he was going to expose her. But then the text really showed that he told her that either you tell her or I tell her, because he found out that she was messing with the trainer that she ended up marrying. And he y'all all played me out my bread. So either you tell your mom, or I'm gonna tell your mom y'all paid me out your bread, but somebody gonna pay me. So it was never a squeeze on her to where he really needed 20 bands. No, it was never that. But I mean, I think it's gonna be interesting, and I think that it was kind of good that we barely vaguely been touched on it, because the verdict's gonna come this week, so we probably gonna have half an episode of Diddy next week. So I think we really ran about this the right way.
Yeah. But I do want to touch on what we were talking about. We had some dialogue before we started rolling, and Brandon, you was talking about the justice system, how we can't really mistake the type of justice that's happening.
The type of narrative is trying to portray.
Because Diddy got the money to pay for this stuff.
Right, because if you look at this case, if you take Diddy out of it or whatever, it's really been a bare bones case. It's really this might be, I don't know, so don't really quote me this. This might be the only one man RICO in history.
I think it is. I think all the lawyers on TV are talking about that.
So this, because the RICO was really created, man, so they could get the mob, because they could never get mob and bosses.
Right.
They could never catch them with anything, catch them in the act or things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So basically when the RICO was look, man, no matter what we do, we can always connect you to this crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at the beginning of this case when the lawyer said, they use the RICO now the same way they used man terrorism after they signed the Patriot Act in 2001. And obviously, man, that act was in response to 9/11 attacks.
Right.
And it's basically, they could essentially put you under this umbrella and charge you with terrorism for the simplest things. We had a guy in Rochester. They accused him of trying to bomb in Merchants Bar and Grill. And when they ran the thing, the guy was mentally disabled for the most part.
Right.
And like he was saying, like, yeah, man, I'll blow this up, this, that, and the third. At some point during the case, the guy says, I don't want to do it no more. The guy coerced him to go back along with the plan with the federal agent.
Wow.
The man never had the means or the mental
Capacity.
to complete the crime. But under the Patriot Act, he was still charged with terrorism.
Right.
And it's the same thing here. Like with RICO, they can run it wild now.
Right.
So a lot of people, when they support these things based on the person, they don't realize that this can permeate down to you
Yeah.
and charge you with a RICO.
Yeah.
You know, I had a situation I'll get into on a later date, and it was essentially the same type of thing. And it's basically saying, like, just because you don't have to benefit from this financially or anything, just because you were in control and you are aware that something that could be a crime is being committed, they can technically charge you with a conspiracy and therefore in a RICO. So as black people, we really need to watch. We have to understand these court systems.
Every year, piggyback what we're saying, every year I get a docket in the mail. This docket is from the Department of State Criminal Justice. It's basically all the phone numbers that are being wired, and they'll send you a document if your number is on if your number is in communication with any number, and it shows you a list of numbers of all the numbers that are being tapped. And because I do events all over the world, you know, a lot of cats be trying to wash their money, you know, they dirty to clean and all this stuff like that. When they talk, they're being tapped and watched. And it'll show you all the numbers that came into play. I get a thick document every single year. They'll show you, like, listen, your number was called by a number that was being tapped. So by law, we have to release this information to you. So what that means is that when you having these conversations, even in light of what you said, a friend of mine was, when we were getting ready to help produce a show, a friend of mine was talking on the phone about his son. His son name is Kiko. So you already know where I'm going. So because he kept talking, when he kept talking, they thought that was the nickname for drugs. So when they questioned him, he's like, "Yo, they over here asking me about my son." I said, "My son his nickname is Kiko." They said they thought it was a nickname for something else because he was associated with a group of people that were being watched. And I'm like, and that kills me, because had things went south, they could have did what Brandon was talking about. They to get him wrapped up. So even if you're not even in commission of the crime, you'll get wrapped up. And so if you're not built for the streets, or if you're not street tough, you'll get behind the closed doors. You don't know what they're saying to you and what you're saying to them. Well, I know he do a little bit of this and that and the third, but what that got to do with me, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And it's crazy. I tell people all the time, I said, like Brandon said, be aware. Be aware, because you don't know what kind of tricks and everything tools they'll use to get you jammed up, even if you're not of that lifestyle. Plain and simple. And my lawyer tell me every time I get I've talked to my lawyer, and every time I get the document, I have to give it to him, and he shreds it. Because I just like, and that's why, you know, they always say don't talk crazy on the phones, even though they've been saying that for eons, and cats still do. But it'll be like about 60 to 75 different numbers on there, and it'll show you the times, the dates, everything. And it's crazy. And you'll see your number on there because somebody who was being watched or being tapped called you or contacted you. And you don't got wrapped up in some shit that you don't even know what's going on.
That's wild to know what's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more on these issues coming up. And like, we had a real good show today. But like with this woman that's coming up though, like we're gonna get a little more serious in terms of things and the way things really, really affect us. And so, I'm looking forward to it though.
And I want to touch on what Rocky brought up just before we started talking about Diddy. Just the past couple of days, we've been in the midst of what we may call a promoter / DJ beef in Rochester, New York. Basically, and it's of public knowledge. So a good friend of mine, shout out to DJ Mikey Fire, DJ Fire, my boy Mikey, basically made a joke, a stat about another DJ, but simple, harmless or whatnot, about how he was DJing. You know, this DJ in particular happened to be sitting down while he was DJing. So Mikey said, "Yo, get your lazy ass up and really DJ." You know, he made a public stat about it.
That's what it was about.
Yeah, but
That's how it
so
started.
this DJ in particular, he was talking about. I don't know if it was some pent up frustration. I don't know if it was some backstory, whatever. Went on live to address his concerns about how he felt in regards to what was said, and it went to some back and forth between them. In the midst of that, promoters felt some kind of way, and they started addressing issues and making claims and all this stuff like that about what they've done, their catalog, their history, resume, blah, say, blah, whatnot. I'm going to leave a multitude of names out. I am the instigator. I feel like Mikey was the instigator. I'm not in a bad way. That's my boy. I love him, all that. But just to run down what happened. My take on everything was this. Shout out to my boy Eddie Jasper. He out in Houston now. Shout out to Club Love out in Houston. He said it's simple it's my dude. I call him the humble goat. I've been with him since he was like 15, 16. I used to sneak him in the venues. He soak up the game. The boy is just out of there. Now he with Rock Nation, you know, ambassador for Duce, all that stuff. He got his own clubs, booking agent for artists, all that. My boy is just doing his thing. What he said was basically, and he's a young cat too. He's still young. He said that you don't say you're great. You move like you are, and everybody else will recognize it. And I told him, I said he summed it up perfectly.
That's a fact.
I've been in the game as of today. I've been in the game 34 years, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes.
Old as fuck.
I'm old, man. I'm an OG for real, for real. I'm Unc for real. And I say this all the time. I said that your moves and what you've done will always speak louder than you ever can.
Oh, that's 100%
You are your brand.
And that's why Facebook
Plain and
is the
simple.
devil.
Yeah, I said you are your brand. So when I see cats on live screaming, "Yo, I've done this and I've done that,"
Yeah,
and
I'm do all that. Let your work speak. Let your work speak.
Like I tell them all the time. I say I don't look at them as clowns. I look at them as hurt because they don't feel like they're not getting the recognition that they deserve.
Right.
And I'm telling them, I said the receipts are your recognition. A very popular radio owner in Rochester, New York, I won't say his name, told me one time I did an event. I produced an event. I produced an event bringing Trey Songz back in 06, 07. And the owner said to me, I said, one of my concerns was that people had a good time.
Yeah.
The owner said to me, he said, "You're not concerned if they have a good time. He said that's going to happen naturally. You want a good turnout. You want a good product, a good result, so you can keep doing these shows.
Right.
Because if everybody had a good time and you didn't make no money, it was pointless.
Right.
So that's on you." And I said, and when it made me realize, I said, let the work speak for itself.
That's it.
Let the work speak for
That's in
itself.
everything you do.
And like you said, Facebook, social media, Twitter, all that stuff, it made people want to go like this so much. But me. I
And
did
that's
this,
what it
I
really
did this, I
is.
did that. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can name so many different promotional crews and teams that have come through Rochester, they've done their thing, made their step, and that are gone now.
Right.
Not that they can't do things, but they've evolved to do other things.
Right.
And so I get that people want the limelight and the recognition and the following and everything. I get that. I understand that. But the work will always speak for itself.
Always.
Speak for itself. That's why I was adamant when I started my company. I didn't want my company named after me, likeness after me in no kind of way. I wanted the brand to speak for itself. So when you see that brand and you see that name, it represents something. No matter who's behind it, or who's in front of it, it means something. It stands for something. And I tell young entrepreneurs that I meet all the time, let your work speak for itself.
Right.
You represent your brand. Everybody that's with you, like Rocky said, the team represents your brand. Shout out to Jess Bang. When I hear Collective Society behind an event, I know it's going to be top notch quality, classy. The presentation is going to be there. Shout out to my girl K. Jonah Rogers, the chef. I know when I see her cook, she puts her heart and soul into everything she does. You know, it means something. It stands for. Shout out to my boy Ramshack. He invited me to the opening of Truth, and he prepared a meal for me, and it was Like presentation, the colors, everything. It was just there.
Right,
Like it means something, stands for something.
Right.
And that's, I tell people all the time, let that work. If I see certain promotional team names behind a party and event, I know it's going to be live. I know it's going to be a good time. Same thing with DJs.
Right.
You know, so when people get I don't know what it is about this camera, this live and going on screaming about this, that, and the third and all this stuff,
Evils.
wanting to prove yourself and everything like that. I'm like, the fact that you're able to come on there and garner the audience behind what you're saying means that people follow you and mess with you anyway.
Right.
But it's a double-edged sword. It's a catch-22. If you're going to go on there publicly stating everything that you've done, be prepared to be critiqued, because 9 times out of 10, there's a bunch of people out there that don't rock with you, that don't like you, don't like what you've done, and they're gonna
just open the door.
You just open the door for every what's the Pandora's box? You just open Pandora's box for people to get at you and to likewise expose you, because that spotlight goes two ways. It goes in front of you and it can go on top of you. You know what I'm saying? Like at you. So I don't know why. I've always been a behind the scenes person. I don't care. The only people I want to recognize me is the people at the bank. That's it. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care
That's a
about
good way to wrap that
I don't
up.
care about accolades. I don't
That's a
care
good
about
way.
none of that. Well, if I walk in the bank, and I can go to my I use business at 3 different banks. I can go to each bank without ID.
Yeah.
So that means something to me.
Yeah.
And conduct
Hell yeah.
business. It means something. That means more to me than 5,000 likes or 10,000 likes or people ha-ha or emoticons or reactions on the social media, because some people thrive and live for that, and that's the culture we in. And if that's the case, cool. But if I could leave a message with any young entrepreneur, especially that's going to be in the entertainment business, because I've been in all fields from top to bottom, I tell people all the time, your work, your name will get across fields that you screaming, pick me, look at me, will ever.
Right.
Because there's certain names you hear that you know represents quality.
Right.
Plain and simple, like Rocky B, for
Thank you.
example.
Thank you very much. I know we got to wrap it
Kyron
up.
Ashford.
If
you know,
y'all
Ashford
listening,
Films.
that's the gem of the day. Entrepreneurs, let your work speak for yourself.
Let your
Work speak for yourself.
But
Well,
with
you
that
know, we
said-
got to talk about this whole only popularity gets support, but we will talk
We'll
about
wrap
that
that
next time.
up.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
That's something we're going to definitely touch base on.
But that's our episode. Hey, today was some good talk.
Today
it was some good talk. It was some good talk.
The coming of B. Gibson, Bishop B. Gibson.
There you
That's what I'm calling him. Bishop Gibson. That's what I'm calling him from now on. Bishop Gibson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Rock, take us out of here.
All right, y'all. That's the end of Everything Under the Sun podcast. And now the sun is set.
Only 5,000.
Yeah.